up on the Angels with 15 to go, but they will have to get by the past world champion Toronto Blue Jays with slugger Joe Carter. Their present Cy Young ace starter R.Clemens, who leads the majors with 21 wins, and their future star, former Mariners left fielder J.Cruz Jr., who has taken his offensive show to Canada. The past, the present, and the future on display in the Dome in the next 4 games. Stick around. Mariners baseball is brought to you by the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning. By Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Mountain Dew, who reminds you to do the do. And by AT&T Wireless Services. It's all within your reach. AT&T. Please don't tell me that summer is gone, but the foreboding skies say maybe it is. But what the heck? The Mariners are looking forward to fall anyway, aren't they? Their magic number is down to 11 as they open up a 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays here this weekend. And to you all, again, a very pleasant good evening, everybody. Dave Niehaus along with Ron Fairley. A check of the standings. The Mariners are doing all right. They lost last night, but the Angels can't seem to win a ball game, right?
Yeah, the Angels are helping out the Mariners quite a bit. You can see they have that 5.5 game lead, but then once again, as you said, the magic number is 11.
Yes, indeed. Let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup, brought to you by My McDonald's. First of all, a man who has certainly the inside track to his 4th Cy Young Award. R.Clemens, a 21-game winner, will go to the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays against Omar Oliveras, trying to get it turned around for the Seattle Mariners. R.Clemens means Ken Griffey Jr. might have another big night, because Ken Griffey Jr. has worn out R.Clemens this year. Look at that. A .415 batting average already with 5 home runs. So that will be the interesting matchup this evening. Also an interesting matchup will be when J.Cruz Jr. comes to the plate. The deal made with Toronto, very controversial at the trading deadline the 31st of July. Ron Fairley's Facts looks into it more.
Well, of course, everybody likes J.Cruz Jr., and why not? The man is a young man is outstanding. Look what he has done with the Seattle Mariners and with the Toronto Blue Jays, and when you combine both of them, 23 home runs and 61 runs driven in. Yes, quite a start for that young man. We'll have the starting lineups for you when we come back in just a moment.
Today's edition of Fairley's Facts is brought to you by Dodge of Bellevue and by Ford of Kirkland, a part of the American Automotive Group.
I went through a divorce.
Welcome back to the Kingdom. We're getting ready for Game 1 of this 4-game series between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. Mariners have taken the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, sponsored by United Furniture Warehouse, where you get fine furniture at warehouse prices. Here's the way that Cito Gaston will be going here in Game 1. It'll be Stewart, Duncan, Cruz, Carter, Delgado, Green, Evans, O'Brien, and then Perez. Defensively, Kelly, Griffey, and Ducey in right field tonight. Gates at third, Rodriguez, Cora, Sorrento around the infield. Rick Wilkins behind the plate and on the mound. Omar Oliveras with a record of 6-10 and an ERA at 5.11. This will be his 29th start of the season as you look at the rest of the numbers on Oliveras.
And our first pitch is brought to you by your Chevrolet dealers Northwest, home of the longest-lasting, most dependable truck on the road. The fastball is high. We are underway. At 7:06 Pacific Daylight Time, Shannon Stewart is the leadoff hitter, taking his strike in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Shannon Stewart, the number 1 draft choice of the Toronto Blue Jays 5 years ago. At Syracuse this year, had a good year. Shannon fouls it off the first base side and out of play. He had .346. Doesn't have much power. 5 home runs, 24 RBIs. Hitting .279 since being called up. Shannon Stewart, then Mariano Duncan, the ex-Yankee, and then J.Cruz Jr. The breaking ball from Oliveras away in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oliveras did not last long in his last outing in Kansas City. The pitch hit right to the right side, and Joey Cora has an easy play. So 1 down. Omar Oliveras in his last start in Kansas City. Only 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 home runs, and only 62 pitches. And he has never beaten the Toronto Blue Jays. He's 0-3 with a high earned run average, 7.56. Mariano Duncan wanting out of New York, and he finally got his wish, and he ended up in Toronto. Hitting .240 on the year. And the Toronto Blue Jays currently in last spot in the American League East. 20.5 games back of the Baltimore Orioles, the leaders in the East. And that fastball, did it get him or not? Not quite. 1 ball and 1 strike, and Oliveras has been having problems doing that. Especially with 2 strikes on a hitter, he'll come in and hit him like he did last time in Kansas City.
And right there, it looked like Duncan thought he was hit. He didn't miss him by very much. Duncan felt everything but the pain.
And a line drive right to first baseman Sorrento. So 2 away now. Listen to the welcome home for Jose Cruz Jr. I would say indeed a nice warm welcome for the young man out of Rice University from Houston, a #1 draft choice of the Mariners, and young man having an outstanding year and a swing and a foul back, 0-1. He's hitting, yes indeed, we miss you, Jose. Hitting .245 with 11 home runs, 27 RBIs since the trade. He hit 2 home runs in 1 game against the Mets this year. 23 home runs overall. And he hit 6 in Tacoma. So he's hit 29 home runs this year. And the youngster, a foul at the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. And musing with his friends. And the young man is really getting into the computer age. He has a lot of email that he sends back and forth between himself and Edgar Martinez and Raul Ibanez, who is a good friend of his. On the outside corner, so Jose Cruz is left at the station looking here in the first inning. And a good start for Omar Oliveras. When we come back, we'll rocket out on the launching pad. He'll face R.Kelly and Jr. Half an inning gone. Mariners nothing. Mariners coming up.
Okay, set down an order in their half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Mariners starting lineup, sponsored by United Furniture Warehouse, where you get fine furniture at warehouse prices. Here's the way Lou is going this evening. Cora, Kelly, Griffey, Martinez, Rodriguez, Sorrento, Ducey in right field, Gates at third, and Rick Wilkins at and behind the plate. Defensively for the Blue Jays, it'll be Cruz, Stewart, Green in the outfield, Evans, Perez, Duncan, Delgado around the infield, O'Brien behind the plate, and on the mound, 35-year-old Roger Clemens, and what a year he is having. Most wins in the American League with 21, and he has the lowest ERA in the league as well. And look at this in his last start. His last start, it was a complete game effort. By the way, he has 9 complete games on the season, and it was his 3rd shutout of the season as well. So indeed, Roger Clemens on his way to possibly another Cy Young Award, certainly with all of the credentials.
How good a year has he had? Only Ron Guidry of the Yankees in 1978 and Roger himself in 1990. The only 2 American League starters to have sub-2 ERAs since the DH started a quarter of a century ago, 25 years. Only Clemens and Guidry have done it, and it looks like Clemens might do it again. So Roger Clemens, the 35-year-old right-hander with a career ERA of under 3 and 2,848 strikeouts, 41 shutouts, and 109 complete games. But he's facing a club that gives him problems. Of the 48 earned runs allowed by Roger Clemens this year, 10 have come at the hands of the Mariners in 14 innings. Here's Joey Cora taking a strike on the outside corners. His ERA against the rest of the league is 1.56. So the Mariners have given him trouble. Joey Cora, 7 for 25.
You realize what kind of a year you have to have your ERA under 2, and how remarkable that really is?
And a broken bat pop-up into shallow right field, drifting out, Mariano Duncan. One in the well.
Batting second, the left fielder, number 10, Robert Kelly.
Roger with that 1.85 ERA, and the big man, Randy Johnson, will go to the rubber tomorrow night. After missing 4 turns, he'll be on a pitch count against Toronto, against Omar Dahl, a former Montreal left-hander and Dodger property, and Roberto Kelly, a routine fly ball to right, and Sean Green is there for the out. So quickly 2 down, and here comes Junior. If Clemens ever had a nemesis, it would be Junior.
Remember a game that they played at the Sky Dome in Toronto, where Clemens threw a little brushback pitch to Ken Griffey Jr. And about 2 pitches later, Jr. launched one way back in the bleachers in right field.
So here is Junior. And it's down low. Remember the commercial the last couple of years of the young catcher dreaming about Ricky Henderson and sweating out Ricky Henderson running from first to second? His worst nightmare? Well, I would imagine that Roger Clemens, if he had nightmares, and I'm sure he doesn't, would have Ken Griffey Jr. taking him into the 3rd or 4th deck either at Sky Dome or way into the visitors' bullpen at Fenway Park in Boston over the years. 1-1 pitch. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Here's the one that he had at Sky Dome. Look at this baby. I mean, a monster shot. High, almost off the 5th deck. And a young lady caught the ball. A little bit outside, 3-1.
I think it's only fair that as good as you are, and indeed both these guys, Griffey and Roger Clemens, you have to have somebody that gives you a rough time, otherwise the game would be too easy.
Junior, he got him on a change. I beg your pardon, count's full. 3-2, didn't get it. Roger Clemens, despite the fact that Johnson has missed 4 saves, is still in the hunt. He's still behind Randy in the strikeout derby. He's 6 behind Randy. And a high pop-up this time on the left side. Young man from Juanita High School, Tom Evans, backing up and makes the catch to retire to side. Eddie Sprague has just had shoulder surgery, and that young man from Juanita High School, Tom Evans, now in the show, and we'll tell you more about him when he comes up. 1, 2, 3. After 1, no score. Play
When I need
to the Kingdom in Seattle. Joe Carter will step in and start it off against Omar Oliveros. Not a bad crowd here on this Friday night. The Mariners trying to get their magic number down either 1 or 2 more tonight. It is down to 11, and Kansas City is in Anaheim tonight. Great to welcome back to the Kingdom. I think one of my first favorites. We both arrived here on the scene at the same time. Number 7, Danny Meyer. Didn't have a long enough shot of Danny to see that infamous tick that he used to have there at the plate as he doubles and scores Julio Cruz with the run. And Whitey, welcome back. It's great to see you. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Mariners. You look great.
Oh, thank you very much. Kind of lends credence to the old axiom, looks can be deceiving.
And a high pop-up, and Mr. Alex Rodriguez will make the catch. Danny Meyer in the 3rd game of the Mariners in their history. drove in the first run in franchise history in 1977. Frank Tanana shut out the Mariners the first night. Nolan Ryan shut him out the second night.
Yeah, after those two nights,
And who
we
was
were
the
beginning to
Mariners'
wonder.
first winning pitcher? Remember that?
Oh, boy. You know, I don't remember.
Bill Laxton.
Bill Laxton. You know, it's funny. I was going through the little Hall of Fame downstairs and looking at the pictures, and I'm, oh, yes, he was on this team. You know, and at this time in any year, we could have sat down in September, some of the guys who were here all year, and tried to write down a list of the players who had been here during the year, and we wouldn't have come close.
Carlos Delgado is a man who hit one on the roof against Omar Oliveras in Detroit earlier this year. And he can hit him as far as anybody. They count 1 ball and 1 strike on him, and it's a little bit outside and high. Ball 2 visiting with Danny Meyer. Do you ever think, as you drove into the Kingdome here today, what has happened in this town with baseball?
Would happen. You know, I really didn't think so, and you know, I guess it's been about 3 years now since '95 when it first started, and you know, you went from picking up the papers and looking at attendance of 8,000 or 4,000 to 40,000 and 30,000 and thinking it was a misprint, but you know, just walking around the city and walking through the park last night, it's just a tremendous atmosphere. The people are alive.
Full count on Carlos Delgado. And a high pop-up off the end of the bat, and overcalling is Ducey, playing in place of Buhner out there in right field tonight. And that's his second out, 2 away in the second. We're visiting with Danny Meyer, Whitey Meyer. One of my favorites. I think one of yours in the early days. We didn't win many ball games in the first couple of years. I'll tell you, they had a lot of fun, though.
Oh yeah, we had a tremendous amount of fun, and like I was telling you earlier, I think that '77 for me was the best year, not only statistically, but just attitude-wise, because you know, we were all young players looking to make a name for ourselves and all kind of out for the same things, and as it went on and we didn't really progress too much in the 4 or 5 years after that, it got to be a little bit of a drudgery, but you know, you can never complain too much about putting on a major league uniform and running out on the field.
1-1 the count on Sean Green, the right fielder of the Toronto Blue Jays. And Oliveras back with the 1-1. A little bit low, ball 2. 2-1. People ask me my biggest thrill, and certainly until '95, and perhaps even to this day, having been with this franchise from the beginning. Has to be opening day, 1977, when Major League Baseball was reintroduced to the Pacific Northwest, and I'll never ever forget that.
Right. It was a great atmosphere, and again, you know, a lot of young players trying to make careers for themselves and out for the same goal, and it was just a great night. And you know, after the first 2 nights, we were wondering if we were ever going to win a game, but we didn't have to face Tanana and Ryan every day.
Payoff pitch on the way to Green, and it's a strike right on the inside corner, strike 3. Well, welcome back. It's great to see you. It really is, and enjoy yourself while you're here.
Oh, I will. It's great to be here. And, you know, you said earlier it's a pretty good crowd. Looks like a great crowd to me.
Thank you, Danny. Danny Meyer, our guest. He'll throw out the first pitch tomorrow night after an inning and a half, no score. Weekend series. We understand our game is being broadcast live tomorrow morning at about 20 minutes before noon in Asia. And to you folks in Tokyo, welcome to Seattle. Our fine director-producer, Mark Engelbrecht, his brother lives over there. And the breaking ball is high and inside, and he'd like to pass along his best wishes to his brother John and his new bride, Hitoy. He just attended their wedding in Maui not too long ago, about the All-Star break. Edgar Martinez has the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. So about quarter before noon in Tokyo. Tomorrow. Well, to them, it's today.
But here's tomorrow.
1 ball and 1 strike. For 53.
See the approach here, the early going that Clemens has. He He goes right after Cora and Kelly, but then you have Griffey and Martinez and has a totally different approach, being a little bit more cautious.
So there's your first base runner of the ball game for either side. A leadoff base on balls to Edgar Martinez, and here comes Alex Rodriguez, who has had excellent success against the Rockets.
The shortstop, number 3, Alex Rodriguez.
I think one of the reasons why Alex has had some success against R.Clemens is because, like that of Edgar Martinez, he has the ability to inside out the ball. Doesn't necessarily pull the ball consistently. Uses foul line to foul line.
0-1. Two. And strike 3, so 3 pitches, and A-Rod didn't get the bat off his shoulder. Larry McCoy calling him out.
Clemens going right after young Alex with a fastball on the outside corner. No question about it being a strike. Alex may have been looking for a breaking ball. That fastball went right on by.
Here's P.Sorrento. He is right there at the knees, isn't he?
He has had that pitch pretty well zeroed in now for the last, I don't know, 12, 14 years.
Well, that's 5 straight strikes thrown by R.Clemens. Struck out Alex on 3 after he walked Edgar Martinez, so he's zeroed back in. Thank you. 5 away from Randy Johnson, who will pitch tomorrow night. Look at that mask Charlie O'Brien is wearing. I mean, that looks like something out of NASA, doesn't it?
Got the stitches of the baseball. The new mask that a lot of the, like the goalie in hockey will wear. A couple of guys have complained, though, that bar that goes across the bridge of the nose, I think they're going to have to reinforce that. A couple of those have been bent this year on foul tips.
Those masks are, what did we say this spring? $750.
$700-800 for those masks. I know earlier in the year, Charlie O'Brien had a blue mask, and now with the way that they wear their equipment, they change the color. They have a gray chest protector and the shin guards. Well, they've got the gray baseball.
So Sorrento, strikeout victim number 2, and Roger is 4 strikeouts away from the big unit. Like just straight gas.
Yeah, we saw the pitch that...
maybe not.
No, that looked like a split figure or a slider of some sort. That ball certainly went down. Saw that fastball in the outside corner to Alex Rodriguez, and then this pitch was low and outside to P.Sorrento. Not wasting any time jumping out in front of the count, is he?
First pitch strike. He's right there. With the exception of Edgar Martinez. 1-1.
When you have the kind of fastball that Roger Clemens has, you can pitch a lot of guys fastballs up and out over the plate. And what that will do is get a lot of lazy fly balls in the outfield.
And a base hit to right field as Ducey got a high fastball and ripped it. Sean Green will get it back in to Duncan. So, 2-out single by Ducey. Brent Gates a chance now for the base hit to get the Mariners a lead.
Ducey filling in for Jay Buhner and doing a very good job. Not Brent Gates, but Rob Ducey seemed the stroke that time, shooting that ball into right field. And now it will be Brent Gates with an opportunity right here. Come up with a 2-out base hit, driving a run.
On the corner.
And Gates has had some success hitting against Roger Clemens also. See the numbers right there. 375 against the Rocket.
And a line drive into left field for a base hit. So that will pick up a run. So Brent Gates, a clutch 2-out hit. Edgar easily walks in, and Ducey goes down to second. So Roger Clemens, who gave up only 2 hits in his last outing in a shutout, has given up 2 hits here in the second and a run.
You know, we were talking the other night about the bottom third of the order, or the bottom half of the order anyway, of doing something that helped win a ball game, and they did that night, the first game against Detroit. Well, here they are tonight. Now, if the front part of the lineup can do anything, then you've got a chance to beat Roger Clemens.
Rick Wilkins getting his first start behind the plate for the Mariners. He had a great year in '90 with the Chicago Cubs. Swing and a foul tip into the glove. Wilkins picked up from the San Francisco Giants and was immediately went on the disabled list. He had a staph infection in his eyes. But the veteran receiver getting the start for Dan Wilson tonight. Left-handed batter and a ground ball to Duncan. And he'll throw him out. But the Mariners do get first blood. 1 run on a couple of hits. And the Mariners leave 2 out there. Coming back, the kid from Juanita High School, Tom Evans, and then Charlie O'Brien, and then Tomas Perez. 1-0. Mariners.
Papa Murphy's Premium Choice. Choose our large pepperoni.
The Kingdom, where the Mariners have taken the early 1-0 lead. And here was Tom Evans, a kid out of Juanita High School, just 23 years of age, and taking over for Eddie Sprague at third base. Sprague just having surgery on his shoulder. And this young man can play. Went to school at Juanita High, now makes his home in Preston, out there not too far from Snoqualmie Falls. He's hitting .263 with Syracuse this year, and what a thrill it must be for him to come back and play here in the Kingdom. And I'm sure all of his buddies, his parents, friends are here tonight. 4th round pick of Toronto in 1992. It's a slow roller to third, and Brent Gates will throw into the runner and safe, pulling Sorrento off the bag. So Tommy Evans is probably there on an error.
Gates taking a little bit too much time getting to the ball and coming up with it and throwing to first base. Had it been an accurate throw, would have been there in time, but Sorrento had to come off the bag. So an error is charged to Brent Gates.
Here's Charlie O'Brien, the catcher. Don't believe he was sacrificing there.
No, he was bunting for a base hit. See him look out the corner of his eye. One thing he's doing is checking with Nick Leyva, the third base coach, but he's also seeing where the third baseman is playing.
And there goes Evans. Swung on a miss to throw through to second base in plenty of time. Yes, indeed. He's thrown out by Rick Wilkins. Right on the money to Joey Cora.
And there goes the bat. Hit and run was on. Charlie O'Brien throwing his bat at the ball, missing it. And then Cora had plenty of time to make the tag on Tom Evans. So Dan Wilson is not behind the plate. Right away, not the Mariners, but the Blue Jays trying to find out what kind of a throwing arm that Wilkins has, and I think they found out he has a pretty good one.
A little bit outside. 1-1. Cora has a routine play and throws him out. Right now, let's check and see what happened on this State Mariners history. Brought to you by your Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealers, home of the minivan store. 1 year ago today, the Mariners beat the Royals at Kansas City and started a club record 10 straight victories that pulled the Mariners from 9 games back of the Rangers to a 1-game lead. That was a Mark Whitten grand salami, September the 12th last year. Perez off the end of the bat, foul down the left field line. And yeah, right down the middle. So here in the third inning, 3 up and 3 down, thanks to Tom Evans being nailed by Rick Wilkins. First time through the lineup. Not bad, Omar, not bad. You faced only 9. We go to the bottom of the third, and the Mariners are up 1-0.
Papa Murphy's Premium Choice. Choose our large pepperoni, nearly a pound.
Mariners Baseball is brought to you by Safeway, who invites you to play $1 Million Baseball Magic. By Shucks Auto Supply, you're on the winning team with Shucks. And by your Western Washington Toyota dealers, leading the way. And welcome back to the Kingdom. A very nice crowd here tonight as the Mariners have the early 1-0 lead. The top of the order coming up, Joey Cora, Roberto Kelly, and Ken Griffey Jr. here in the third inning. Routine pop-up. And Sean Green over there calling. One away, 1 pitch. Meanwhile, to the south, Anaheim has a 4-1 lead over Kansas City in the bottom of the second. At the Big A.
You know, one of the things I found interesting in hitting off of the really the good pitchers or the great pitchers, like Roger Clemens, a lot of guys like to swing at him early in the count. They don't like to get deep into the count because they're afraid of striking out. Guys don't want to do that. And so you'll see several at-bats during the course of a game where guys will put the ball in play the first or second pitch. And the smart pitchers, like Roger Clemens, know that, and they'll make a tough pitch the first pitch, and they'll get an out on him.
2-0. Roberto hits it down the left field line, and a hop off the wall. So Kelly will have a double with 1 away here in the third. Thought for a moment it might bounce over and be a ground rule double, but it didn't. Result the same, 2-base hit.
Look at this pitch one more time. Behind the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Kelly got something that he liked. Turned on it, shooting it down into the corner. And now Junior, the first base open, will have a chance to drive in a run.
Junior fouled out to Tom Evans in the first. That's a fork ball that time. $135 6 up on Tino Martinez in the RBI department. Tim Salmon having a good year with Anaheim and driving in runs. Two strikes. As he has been throughout his career, R.Clemens again a horse this year as far as innings pitched. Coming into this game, over 230 innings pitched already this year. 233 2/3 innings. And a tapper to the right side. And Carter will underhand. Or Delgado will underhand to Mr. Clemens. So down to third base goes Roberto Kelly, and now the Mariners again looking for a clutch 2-out hit like they got last time from Brent Gates. Well, live out your baseball dreams when you sign up for the first ever Mariners Fantasy Camp. You can join Gaylord Perry, Julio Cruz, and a host of other former Mariners February the 1st to the 8th next year at the Mariners Spring Training Facility in Peoria, Arizona. You'll play in 2 games each day of that camp, as well as receive instruction from former Mariner players. Receive an application by mail. You can call the AT&T Mariners fan phone at 1-800-MY-MARINERS. 2 games. You better bring that cream that you rub into your muscles. 2 games a day down there.
You know, I've gone to those.
Yeah.
And some of those, everybody takes it seriously. But they have a tendency to try to do too much. A lot of blisters. I know that. But I think the guys have a great time.
0-1. And the dirt gets away here. Coming in to score is Roberto Kelly to make it 2-0. So the Mariners get a break on a wild pitch. A forked ball in the dirt.
Well, that's how Alex Rodriguez, I think, got hurt in Toronto on a wild pitch. Alex scoring from third base, and this particular pitch getting away from Charlie O'Brien, allowing Roberto Kelly to score. But a close play at the plate, and that's when Alex slid in and injured his ribs.
Didn't want to do it. Check swing. Duncan will have to hurry. His throw not in time, and it gets down the right field line, but Edgar will not be able to turn around and head to second. And Edgar's hurt. Edgar Martinez, his side is hurting. That was a check swing, and that's the one thing he did not want to do. He wanted to go all the way through his swing, and Edgar Martinez is in misery down there at first base. Look at this. Ouch. He'll pay the price. That's the one thing the Mariners did not want to see, was a check swing.
And they're going to give him a base hit. So the Mariners now have 4 hits.
Here's A-Rod. Johnson, after missing almost a month. There's a big unit set to go. He'll be on a pitch count. Probably 70, 75 pitches, maybe 80 tomorrow. faces Toronto. Left-hander Omar Dahl will pitch for Toronto. Snap throw to first base, and barely back is Edgar Martinez. Clemens, 35 years of age. Hall of Fame numbers, by the time he's done, you bet.
Well, he has had quite a career. Look at what the opponents are hitting against Roger Clemens, but then again, right above him is Randy.
A little bit low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Clemens really wanted to re-sign with Boston, and I guess Dan Duquette decided to go another way, and the rest is history. In the end, Boston never offered Roger a contract, as I understand it. Runner set to go. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a ground ball hits the shortstop. Tomas Perez. His throw to first in plenty of time. The Mariners get a break by getting a run on a wild pitch here in the 3rd inning. And they leave 1. So we'll come back. Second time through the lineup for Oliveros. He'll face Shannon Stewart, then Mariano Duncan, and then Jose Cruz Jr. 2-0 Mariners.
We don't have sales. We have
Nice crowd here tonight. The Mariners averaging almost 39,000 per playing day. And Shannon Stewart, the young center fielder, jammed, and Wilkins not going to be able to get back there in time. Shannon Stewart hit a routine ground ball to Joey Cora. He's only at bat.
Well, that last pitch right in on the hands by Oliveros. Really got into the kitchen of Stewart. That ball hit closer. I think it hit between the trademark and his hands. That's really getting in there.
Young man from Miami, Florida. Broken bat to Hopper. The Gator throws him out.
Second baseman, number 24, Mariano Duncan.
Mariano Duncan has, I guess, the closest thing to a base hit, but it wasn't really close at all. It was just a nice little soft line drive to P.Sorrento in the 1st inning. Oliveros has been outstanding. 30 years of age from Puerto Rico, Omar Oliveros. Fastball, broken bat, ground ball, hit right to Alex. 2 outs. He's breaking a lot of bats, isn't he, tonight?
Expensive game for the Blue Jays.
Left fielder, number 23.
2 down. Time for tonight's trivia quiz. Brought to you by your friendly Northwest Dodge dealer. There you go. In what year were all players first required to wear a batting helmet? All players. We'll give you the answer in the bottom half of the 4th. I don't know the answer, but I don't think it's been that long ago, has it, Red? Jose Cruz Jr. swing and a miss.
Well, I think
Because
I think
there were some were grandfathered in there. You could you didn't have to wear a batting helmet if you were finishing your career. Is that right?
Well, I think there was a time when they finally made everybody wear helmets.
Of course there was.
Yeah, and I want to say it's back in the 60s. I know when I first started playing, you didn't have to wear a helmet if you didn't want to.
Of course, that was in the 30s.
20s.
Those are the fastballs high and outside.
That's right.
1, 2 strikes.
Brand new Ford cost you $400.
Jose fouls it at the plate.
You know, I still love that story with Rogers Hornsby from years ago when he was the batting instructor for the Pirates, and one day standing around the batting cage taking extra batting practice, the players are talking about going to the movies. And one of the players said he saw a certain movie.
There's the first base hit, and J.Cruz Jr. has it for Toronto.
And Hornsby jumped in and said to the fellas, hey, listen, don't go to the movies. It's bad for your eyes. It's not good for you hitting. And they said to Rogers, they don't play the piano, they don't flicker anymore.
Here's Mr. Carter. In his career, his only hit off Omar Oliveras, a home run. J.Cruz Jr. at first base, and 2 away. Joe, a high pop-up down the left field line, and a mile for Kelly to run. He's going to get over there and make the catch. Fine running catch by Roberto Kelly, and that shall retire the side. No runs, a hit, and Cruz Jr. left over at first base. Fine running catch by Roberto Kelly. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's still the Mariners 2. The Toronto Blue Jays, nothing.
I can't. Yeah, and the thing that Tidry, look at how he has to negotiate around the pitching mound.
Outstanding catch. As you look at P.Sorrento lead it off and take the change high and outside. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, that made it look a lot easier than the play really was. See him concentrating on the ball, look down to see where the mound was, and then getting around the mound, making the catch. That's an excellent play.
Fastball a little inside and maybe a tad high. 2-1 on Sorrento. It's been a long time since R.Clemens gave up a home run. Almost 60 innings ago. Broken bat, ground ball. So that will be that as far as Sorrento is concerned. All right. Time for the answer to tonight's trivia quiz, brought to you by your friendly Northwest Dodge dealer. There was the question. What year were all players first required to wear a batting helmet?
I'm going to say,
there you go. Well, you can say whatever you want now.
Yeah.
I'd say let me guess 1971.
I was going to say 64.
Here's Rob Ducey, and a ground ball hit right to second. Easy out there. So it's been 60 innings exactly since Clemens gave up a home run to Travis Fryman at Tiger Stadium in Detroit on August the 2nd. And here's Brent Gates.
You know, there's a stat that baseball does not keep, but I would find it kind of interesting because I think it really tells you more about the quality of a pitcher, and that is how many innings does a pitcher go to the mound and have the opposing team put up a 0 versus a pitcher that'll go out there and he'll give up a run almost every inning, and he'll go out there and give up, say, 5 runs in the 5 innings that he worked. Whereas a good pitcher like R.Clemens or Randy Johnson, when they pitch, I'm going to say you generally have to beat them in 2 or 3 innings because they're going to put up 5 or 6 innings or 7 innings of nothing but zeros. So if you beat those guys, you're going to have to do it in that short period of time.
Good point. The Mariners got a gift last inning on the wild pitch. And a routine ground ball. And Clemens steps in front of the bag and makes the tag.
Never tagged him.
I don't think
never tagged him. Never tagged him.
He blocked the bag at first base, and the first base umpire, Terry Kraft, called him out. And here comes Lou Piniella out to argue, along with Sam Mejias, the Mariners' first base coach, and Roger just flat blocked the bag at first. The base path belongs to the runner.
Look at the play one more time. There's the shuffle. Never tagged him.
He tagged him with his arm. So here in the fourth, 1-2-3. We'll go to the fifth, and it's still 2-0 Mariners.
The ball is in the glove.
Right.
Attention Salem area renters. Bonanza Homes is
Splitter that time by Oliveras, which, by the way, was his third pitch of this, the fifth inning. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes on Carlos Delgado. Popped up to Rob Ducey. His only at bat. And a little pop up into shallow right center field. Got a chance to drop. No! An amazing catch by Ducey as he outruns the ball and backhands it. So the native of Toronto, the Canadian, takes a base hit away from Carlos Delgado. We've seen a couple of fine defensive plays.
And you see Griffey giving Ducey a high five there in the outfield. Ducey covering quite a bit of ground. Look at the swing. There's the fly ball. And look at the range of Rob Ducey.
Fine play by Ducey. One away in the fifth. And here's Sean Green. And a ground ball toward the hole by a diving Joey Cora. So there's the second hit by Toronto tonight. The other one going to J.Cruz Jr.
Third baseman, number 28, Tom Evans.
And here comes the kid from Kirkland. Tom Evans aboard on the Gates throwing error in the third inning. And then he, on a hit and run, was hung out to dry by Rick Wilkins, the catcher.
Hey, there have been about 5 or 6 broken bats already in this game.
1-0. "53 pitches. Not that many at all. And a broken bat double play ball hit to A-Rod, and Cora's throw a little low, and Sorrento can't come up with it. A good throw, and you got him by a mile. Man. 2 away.
Catcher, number 22,
And Charlie O'Brien, the hitter.
See the play one more time. Alex gives Cora a good shuffle, good toss, and cannot quite make the accurate throw, and Sorrento cannot quite come up with it.
In the dirt. Strike to O'Brien. Again, one of those situations where you can't give an error, but you should be able to.
Well, you're right. It is one, but the old ruling says that you can't assume a double play ball. Well, why not? All you have to do is throw it from second to first, and you have the batter, have the runner easily. You know, we were sitting in the in Lou's office after the ball game last night.
O'Brien a line to left field, but Roberto Kelly goes back and makes the catch. You'd like to finish your story in the bottom half of the fifth. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Oliveras has been outstanding through 5 after 4.5, 2-0 Mariners.
from the comfort of your own home. The price for all this? Absolutely nothing. It's baseball for free on the WB. The Mariners take on the Blue Jays live tomorrow beginning at 6 p.m. on Portland's WB 32.
Well, we go to the bottom of the fifth inning from the Kingdome. Mariners lead the Blue Jays by a score of 2-0. Hello again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Ron Fairley, and what a job by Omar Oliveras tonight, Rick.
He's doing an outstanding job, and he's getting ahead in the count, not falling behind like he has had in some trouble in these previous outings, but he's been very, very aggressive in tonight's performance.
Catcher Rick Wilkins leading off the fifth inning, a swing and a miss, 0-1. Rick Wilkins, his starting debut with the Mariners, 0 for 1. He has grounded out to Duncan at second base. 0-2. Roger Clemens, 2 starts against the Mariners this year. The Mariners have won both games. Clemens is 0-1 in those 2 starts.
But he's fun to watch pitch, boy. He no nonsense out there in the mound. Good concentration. Goes right after the hitters.
Future Hall of Famer, 3-time Cy Young Award winner. He won his first one in '86 when he won 24 games, again in '87. And his 3rd Cy Young Award came in 1991.
Yeah, and when you look at it, there have been only 5 pitchers that have won 3 or more consecutive ERA titles. And Roger Clemens is one of those.
Inside on Wilkins, ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rick.
We were just talking that last half inning, talking with Lou Piniella in the clubhouse after a ball game, and Lou was saying, you know, it's really amazing how you look at the Mariners and how they can play so well as a team one night, and the perfect example would be the first game of Detroit.
Yeah.
And then come back the next night and look very, very ordinary. He says, what happens to this team in a 24-hour cycle?
Fly ball into the gap in left center field. Drifting back, Shannon Stewart to make the catch. 1 out for the Mariners here in the 5th.
And, you know, that's baseball. I mean, that's a new game, a new starting time, and what have you. But you can see how really good this team can be at times. And then they just, Lou says, why can't they put it together a little bit more often? I want to win this thing. I want this thing to be over.
I guess the biggest answer to that question is pitching. The guy in the middle of that diamond controls what happens in a ball game. Here's Joey Cora. Joey is 0 for 2. Tonight's game is a good example. Ground ball to short. Perez is there. And Joey's out there. 2 outs for the Mariners here in the 5th. Brings up left fielder Roberto Kelly. Well, friends, beginning Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, approximately 10,000 tickets for possible 1997 postseason play will go on sale via telephone only. Tickets for all possible postseason games will be sold in strips. A maximum of 4 strips per order will be permitted. To order beginning this Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning, call Ticketmaster at one of the 2 numbers on your screen. Roberto Kelly pops it up. Second baseman Mariano Duncan is out there in shallow right field to make the easy catch, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Rocket Man, Roger Clemens, after 5 innings of play. Mariners lead the Blue Jays 2-0.
Hey!
CE Wireless all-in-one, altogether different. Mariners lead 2-0 over Roger Clemens and the Blue Jays after 5 innings of play. Shortstop Tomas Perez leading off the top of the 6th inning. A strike from Omar Olivares, and that's been his best pitch in this ball game. Strike 1 all night long on a hitter. Fouled away, and the count is 0-2. Perez 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 3rd. Fastball just missed a little high. Ball 1-1-2. Brad, he's had that fastball working on the left-handed hitters that come back right over the inside corner. Up the middle and behind second, Alex Rodriguez. Perez is out number 1. Nice play by Alex.
Well, tonight, Olivares is moving that ball from one side of the plate to the other. He's jammed a lot of guys. We said there's been about now 6 or 7 broken bats in this game, which means a lot of times he's coming inside, and he's coming either on the inside corner or just a little bit off the plate.
I think this is the best movement as you take a look at Omar's numbers for the night. The best movement that Olivares has had on his fastball. 1-0 on Shannon Stewart. He is 0 for 2. Has grounded out twice. Slider on the outside corner. 1-1. Omar basically a sinker slider pitcher. He's had both pitches working. Great control. That's outside though for ball 2. 2-1. For the Blue Jays, it's been a struggle all season long offensively for Cito Gaston's ball club. Fouled away, 2-2. They're last in the league in hitting, batting just .244. Last in runs scored, 12th in home runs. 2-2. When the Blue Jays traded away Otis Nixon to the Los Angeles Dodgers, that gave this kid a chance to come up and play center field, Shannon Stewart. Came up on August the 12th. Ground ball into the hole at short, cut off by Gates. Fires the first in time to get Shannon Stewart, who can run. 2 outs for the Blue Jays. Another infield out behind Omar Olivares.
Good tailing fastball, sinking fastball in on the right-hand hitter. Bouncing that ball to the right side of the diamond, or to the left side of the diamond anyway. And the quick release this time by Gates.
2 outs, brings up second baseman Mariano Duncan, low and away, ball 1. Duncan is 0 for 2. He's lined out to Sorrento. And he's grounded out to A-Rod at short. Ball 2. Omar Olivares trying to win his first game since July the 23rd when he beat Cleveland 6-3. Strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Right now, that's his only win as a Mariner. He had 5 victories with the Detroit Tigers earlier this year. He was 5-6 at the time of the trade. Fly ball down the right field line. Ducey coming in, and it drops in for a base hit. Rob Ducey trapped it. Good effort by Rob, but he took it off the turf as Duncan singles with 2 outs. That'll bring up left fielder Jose Cruz Jr.
Almost got to the ball, but had to make the short hop catch there in right.
1 on 2 outs for Jose Cruz Jr. Jose is 1 for 2 with a single into right field. Outside, ball 1. Cito didn't waste any time getting Cruz up into the number 3 spot in the order, hitting in front of Joe Carter. And his Blue Jay debut, hit a home run in Detroit right after the trade on July the 31st, and that home run beat the Tigers 2-1. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike, 1-1 on Cruz, and there is left-hander Paul Spoljaric warming up down in the bullpen. One of the 2 players the Mariners received in that deal for Cruz back at the end of July. And without Timlin and Spoljaric and Slocum, the Mariners would not have a 5.5 game lead in the West over Anaheim. Ball 2, 2-1. And there is Mike Timlin, who had 31 saves last year in Toronto.
I think what Cito Gaston was thinking of by putting Cruz in front of Joe Carter meant that he's going to get a lot of good pitches to hit because opposing teams are not going to want to pitch to Joe Carter. Well, Lou didn't have that luxury here because you had Ken Griffey Jr. hitting third, so you're not going to put Cruz there in that spot. But it's a good move.
Down and in, ball 3, 3-1. Mariners had a chance to ease Cruz into the lineup, into that number 9 spot. There's a look at Cito Gaston, who feels like he's not going to come back to manage his ball club next season. He thinks his days are numbered as the skipper for the Toronto Blue Jays. That is ball 4 on Jose Cruz. He walks before the ball game. Had a chance to visit with Jose, and his tall friend came up and said hello, and that he missed him.
Traded from.
Miss you very much.
What's up, Randy?
I see you tomorrow night.
I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Okay, 6 feet, 6 inches. No, it's not this hand. If it was this hand,
you know this guy.
Good luck. I'm looking forward to facing you. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You know, that says something. A lot of these guys at this ball club miss you, buddy.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I usually say that now.
Jose Cruz Jr., what a likable kid. And Randy Johnson will face Jose Cruz and the rest of the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow night in Game 2 of the series. Joe Carter fouls away a pitch. 0-1.
Yeah, this is the spot that Joe Carter loves to hit in. He has always been able to hit with men in scoring position. He does not hit the ball on the ground very often. He is a fly ball. You know what I'm talking about, fly ball pitchers? This guy's a fly ball hitter.
He has hit 377 fly balls out of a ballpark. Well hit down the left field line. Uh-oh, that is a foul ball. Joe Carter just missed his 378th career home run by about maybe a foot or two down the left field line. That would have given the Blue Jays a lead, but it's still a 2-0 Mariner lead.
Yeah, and Olivares has to keep that ball down. Look at the reaction this time as that ball just misses, and Carter saying, you know what, I pulled it just a bit too much.
Big break for Omar Olivares. The count is 0-2 on Joe Carter.
You're ahead in the count now, 0-2. If you miss down.
Make him chase a pitch. Down and away. 2 on, 2 away. The tying run is on at first base, and Cruz. Duncan is on at second. The 0-2. Down and away as Carter took a good long look at that pitch into the glove of Wilkins. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Joe. Olivares trying to work himself out of the first jam that he's been in this ball game. And it's here in the 6th inning. 2-0 Mariners lead. Joe Carter, of the 377 home runs, 202 with the Blue Jays. His next home run will make Joe the all-time leader for Toronto. Getting by George Bell. Down and away. Ball 2, 2-2. Carter has 202 home runs with the Blue Jays.
A lot of teams like to pitch Carter hard stuff right in on his hands. You have a chance to jam him on that. But if you get that ball out over the plate just a little bit, though, he can turn on it.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Omar Olivares strikes out Joe Carter to retire the side. Holy smoke, what a performance by Omar Olivares. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0. The Mariners lead the Blue Jays.
Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by your friendly Northwest Dodge dealer and by BP. We keep you moving.
Omar Olivares works out of a jam in the top of the 6th. Mariners lead Toronto 2-0. Bottom of the 6th inning. And look at this. Out of the scoreboard in right field, the Royals have come back to tie the Angels 4-4 in the top of the 4th inning. The Angels had a 4-1 lead in that game. But the Royals have come back to tie. Kansas City. There's the Mariners banner out there in first place in the West. Jr. leads things off. A big swing and a miss at a pitch from Clemens, 0-1. Kansas City, Red, helped out the Mariners last night with a 4-2 win over the Angels.
Well, there have been a lot of teams that have been helping the Mariners out here in recent games. The Tigers. They're in Tigers Stadium.
0-2 on Griffey. R.Clemens has given up 2 runs on 4 base hits. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5 innings. Given up the 4 hits, only 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Outside, ball 2. 2-2. Jr. had that one game back in April where he had 3 home runs against the Blue Jays, and 2 came off of Clemens. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 3rd strikeout for Roger Clemens. 1 out, brings up designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Well, the Mariners battle the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow night at 6:05. Following tomorrow's game, the first 2,000 adults are invited onto the field to run around the bases. On Sunday, it's the kids' turn, courtesy of Hewlett-Packard. The 4-game set wraps up on Monday with KVSG half-price family night. For tickets, call 622-HITS. Here's Edgar. He's been aboard twice with a walk and a single. He scored a run in the 2nd. So Edgar is 1 for 1.
We're just talking about Randy Johnson pitching tomorrow night after missing 4 starts, and Lou has reorganized his pitching rotation for the balance of the season.
1-1 on Edgar.
And in the last 15 games, Johnson, Moyer, and Facero will start 10 of those games. Randy will have 4 more starts counting tomorrow night. That would be his schedule, while Facero and Moyer will have 3 more starts. And in the last 11 games, the big 3, Johnson, Moyer, and Facero, they will start 8 of those games.
So the Mariners are going to go right after their final few opponents here at the end of September with their big 3. Why not? The big 3 has been very successful. Randy Johnson, a 17-game winner. Jamie Moyer has won 16, and Facero has won 15. 2-2 on Edgar. Ground ball back up the middle. Backhanding Duncan. Off balance throw is a little offline, and Carter is pulled off the bag. Edgar is safe at first base. Good hustle again by Edgar Martinez. Another infield base hit.
Second infield hit by Edgar Martinez. Look at it from ground level, bouncing the ball right back up the middle. Duncan making the play near the bag. Ends up pulling Joe Carter off of the bag at first base just enough to allow Martinez to be safe.
Edgar Martinez chugging up that first base line. Good hustle by Edgar. And he gets there in time.
And you can see Edgar letting the umpire know that he was safe.
Just helping him out. 1-on-1 away. Here's Alex Rodriguez, but Clemens steps off and he looks Edgar back to first.
And Lou is arranging, or already has arranged now, the pitching rotation, that if it is necessary, Randy can have that 4th start the last day of the season, if necessary. And if not, then Randy can open up in the playoffs.
Should hit the playoffs running. There's a pitch low on Alex. Ball 1. But first things first, they have to clinch the West. Their magic number is at 11. Any combination of Mariner wins, Angel losses totaling 11. The Mariners will clinch their 2nd West Division title over the last 3 seasons. 14 games left after tonight's game. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Even on the great pitchers, when you get ahead in the count, zero that strike zone in. Make that strike zone smaller. They'll give you pitches to hit. Not as often, but they'll give them to you.
On a play on the first base side, 2-1 on A-Rod, who has struck out. He's also grounded out to Perez at short. The Mariners have given Clemens more trouble than any team in the American League this season. 10 of the 48 runs that Clemens has given up this year, 48 earned runs against the Mariners, and most of them off the bat of Ken Griffey Jr. Fly ball down the right field line. Back on the ball is Sean Green. Off the fence. Extra bases. The ball bounds away from Green. Here comes Edgar running third, trying to score. The throw to the plate is in time. Now the call. Edgar with a hard slide into Charlie O'Brien. Edgar slow getting to his feet, but he's up. Edgar is out at home, 2 outs, and A-Rod winds up at third base. Lou Piniella out to check up on Edgar, and Edgar has a cut. Bleeding at the chin as he slid hard into Charlie O'Brien. Man, it's been a tough last couple of weeks for Edgar Martinez. Look at the ball jump off this kid's bat, Red.
Yeah, it does, and it gets away from Sean Green. I thought when the ball got away that would allow Edgar to score easily. But as it turns out, a good throw, and the shin guard, I think, catches, or the mask catches Edgar right on the chin.
Edgar sliding right into that new style mask that O'Brien wears and opens up a cut. Sorrento foul on the first base side, 0-1. Remember just the other day in Kansas City. There's a look at that goalie-style catcher's mask that O'Brien actually debuted. He was the first catcher to wear that style of mask. John Marzano wears it this year. But Edgar slid right into the chin portion of that mask and opened up a cut on Edgar's chin. But the other day in Kansas City, Edgar was in the dugout, was hit on the side of the head when Chili Davis threw his bat into the dugout, and that cut required 5 stitches to close.
Yeah, and he may have some more stitches in his chin tonight. So it's been a rough week for Edgar.
Runner at third, 1 out. Pitch is inside on Sorrento, ball 2, 2-1. Here's the slide and the collision one more time.
See Charlie O'Brien coming around, and there it is, as Edgar catches the mask right on the jaw.
Broken bat liner into right center field for a base hit. A-Rod will score. Sorrento with a single and a run batted in. The Mariners lead the Blue Jays 3-0. The Mariners have come up with some clutch base hits with 2 outs. Alex scores from third base on the single by Sorrento, his 75th run batted in.
And he hit a good pitch. That pitch is below the knees. Might not have been a strike. Broke his bat. That's the 7th or 8th broken bat in this game. Alex scores, and it's now 3-0.
Rob Ducey takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Sorrento got that one off the end of the bat. Cracked the bat and had the base hit to right center field. Ducey 1 for 2 with a single to right back in the second. 3-0 Mariner lead. Fastball is inside. Throw to first and back in time is Sorrento. Charlie O'Brien has picked off 7 runners this year. He's not too shy about trying to pick off a runner over at first base. 1 on, 2 outs, a run in here in the bottom of the 6th. Rob Ducey from Toronto. Played for the Blue Jays. Check swing. Strike 3 called to retire the side, but the Mariners get a big run after 2 outs here in the 6th inning. After 6 innings of play, it's the Mariners 3, the Blue Jays nothing. Mariners lead the Blue Jays by a score of 3-0. We have a new battery for the Mariners, a new pitcher and a new catcher. Paul Spoljaric is on in relief.
We have the numbers for Spoljaric, making his 51st appearance of the year, and you can see the rest of the numbers, the innings, the hits, walks, strikeouts, and home runs allowed. He will be facing Delgado and Green, the first 2 batters here in the inning, and they are left-handed batters, and I think that has something to do with the reason and why Lou Piniella will put Spoljaric in the game.
And the new catcher is Dan Wilson. He replaces Rick Wilkins. Low, ball 1. Paul Spoljaric facing his former ball club for the first time. Delgado is 0 for 2, twice flying out to Ducey in right field. What a job by Omar Olivares, Red.
He did an outstanding job tonight, did Olivares. Did not give up any runs, walked only 1.
Ground ball fouled on the right field side.
And there's about the 9th bat that's been broken tonight.
At least.
Yep. And down in the bullpen, the other part of the trade with Toronto, Mike Timlin starting to loosen up. You know, here's I'm sure everybody in the ballpark is saying, okay, now we're going to see how good the trade was. We know that Cruz already has a hit. Now we're going to see the other half of the trade. How is Spoljaric going to pitch, and how is Timlin going to pitch? So there's a lot of people thinking along those lines, I'm sure, here at the ballpark.
Well, Lou has Timlin up, and when he gets a guy up down there in the bullpen, he usually brings him in. So you're going to see Timlin somewhere in this ball game. Down and away, ball 2, 2-1.
Well, I think Lou would love to have Spoljaric pitch the 7th inning. more importantly, put up a 0.
Line drive, fair ball down the right field line. Kicks off the wall back to Ducey. Delgado is held to a single. Good job by Rob Ducey. Good throw to Alex Rodriguez. That ball came right back at Ducey. A long single for Delgado.
Look at the carom off the wall right to Ducey, who has it and then fires it, just like Jay Buhner has done so many times, right into second base. An excellent throw that time by Ducey.
One on and nobody out. Brings up right fielder Sean Green. Time is called.
You know, and you have to credit Sammy Mejias with some of that, because Sammy all the times makes the players feel balls as he'll hit balls into the corner, makes them feel it, so they know the carom's down there.
Sean Green hits one off his leg. The ball bounces out to Spoljaric, but it's a foul ball. 1-1 on Green.
See Sammy Mejias a lot of times hitting the balls down into the left field corner, down to the right field corner, so that you get accustomed to see how the ball reacts when the ball gets down that corner. And if you're a guy like Ducey and Amaral, which you're going to be putting the outfield from time to time, you better know both corners, right field and left field.
One ball and one strike. That's one of the first things Sammy will do, especially when the club hits the road. Takes the outfielders out there to see how the ball reacts. Off the fence, 3-0 Mariners lead.
And especially all the new players on the team.
Ground ball up the middle. Base hit into center field by Green. Delgado to second base. So the Blue Jays threaten one more time. The throw is way offline. Taken by the pitcher, Spoljaric. And here comes Lou Pennell out of the dugout. He's already made the call for the right-hander, Mike Timlin.
Well, Spoljaric went into the game to face both left-hand hitters. They both ended up with base hits.
So here is Timlin to take over, who also came over from the Blue Jays at the end of July, along with Spoljaric in that trade for J.Cruz Jr. And Timlin will take over. This pitching change is brought to you by AT&T Wireless Services. It's all within your reach, AT&T. We'll be back right after this timeout. Next time. Well, top of the 7th inning, Mariners leading the Blue Jays 3-0. Tough outing for Paul Spoljaric against his former teammates. Back-to-back singles by Delgado and Green, 2 on, and nobody out. And the new pitcher is right-hander Mike Timlin, another ex-Blue Jay.
5-4 record, ERA, very good, 3.38. 10 saves to his credit. Right now, the early innings, hits, walks, strikeouts, and home runs allowed. He'd love to get a double play ball right here. He'd like to get Tom Evans to hit one on the ground and turn 2.
Tom Evans, the kid from Kirkland, went to Juanita High School. He is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice.
First 2 times up, Mariners jammed Tom Evans. Kept the ball in on it. Let's see if Dan Wilson and Timlin try to do the same.
Fly ball into shallow left center field. That's going to be trouble. It drops in for a base hit. Delgado goes to third. Stops after making the short little turn. The bases are loaded. Junior's throw in, cut off by P.Sorrento. So the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Well, that was a real jam shot that time by Evans, but it was very effective. He got away with it. Here comes the pitch inside, and that time Evans muscling the ball right out of the infield. So the Mariners in a jam here. Tying run at first base.
And the batter is catcher Charlie O'Brien. Delgado at third, Green at second, Evans at first base. O'Brien is 0 for 2. Nothing. Mariners lead. Swing and a miss by Charlie O'Brien. 0-1. Mariners down and away. Ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Jays have had a rough time scoring runs all season long. Last in the league in runs scored and in hitting. Right-hander Bobby Ayala warming up down in the bullpen. Ball 2, 2-1. Charlie O'Brien hitting just .227. The infield is back looking for the double play ball. They would give up a run for the chance to try to get a couple of outs and try to stay away from the big inning. Great job by Omar Olivares tonight, going 6 innings, and then Lou turned it over to the bullpen. Down and in, ball 3, and he's way behind Charlie O'Brien at 3 balls and a strike.
Charlie O'Brien right now is looking for a dead fastball to hit.
On deck is shortstop Tomas Perez. Oh no, we're going to have a
Felipe Crespo. One career grand slam, and he's looking for a fastball right now.
Inside for ball 4. A bases loaded walk to Charlie O'Brien. That forces in Delgado from third base with the Blue Jays' first run of the game. It's now the Mariners 3 and the Blue Jays 1. Still nobody out. And the bases are still loaded. Green to third, Evans to second, O'Brien on at first base for the bases loaded walk. And here is Crespo out to pinch hit. And here comes Lou Piniella. That's it for Mike Timlin. Right-hander Bobby Ayala will come in out of the bullpen. And inherit a bases-loaded jam with nobody out. The Blue Jays now have the tying run at second base. Mariners with the lead 3-1, so that's it for Timlin. And here comes Bobby. This pitching change is brought to you by The Money Store, where you can refinance your home and consolidate your debts with just one phone call. The Money Store. Here comes Bobby Ayala. We'll be back right after this time.
Wedding bells are ringing on the fire. Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez, Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez, Randy Johnson. Don't miss a minute of the sizzling action. It's blazing hot Mariners baseball, and it's all right here for free on the WB. Mariners games are brought to you in part by your Northwest Subaru dealers.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners Baseball Club and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners Baseball Club.
Mariners lead the Blue Jays 3-1, but Toronto, they have the bases loaded with nobody out at the top of the 7th inning. A rough outing for Timlin. Here is Bobby Ayala on a relief.
Second half of the season, Ayala's been doing a heck of a job. Now has his ERA down at 4.43. When you stop to consider it was at 7 and 8 the first half of the season, and now it's down that low. He's been doing a heck of a job.
Felipe Crespo will be the pinch hitter for Tomas Perez. Down and in, ball 1. So here is Crespo to pinch hit, batting .250, no home runs, no RBIs, 1 for 4. The catcher, Dan Wilson, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sean Green's on at third base. Tom Edmonds over at second. Charlie O'Brien is on at first. 1 run in here in the top of the 7th inning. Ground ball, base hit into right field. That's going to score green. Tom Evans heading home. Here's Ducey's throw to the plate. Not in time. It's cut off by Sorrento. Throw to third is in time to nail Charlie O'Brien. But the Blue Jays have tied the game at 3. Felipe Crespo with a single into right field. Scores Green from third, Evans from second base. Rob Ducey, a good throw. It was cut off by Sorrento. And Sorrento with a good peg to third to get Charlie O'Brien for the first out.
Wow. 2 runs have been charged to Spoljaric and 1 to Timlin.
1 on, 1 out, 3 runs are in. The Blue Jays have tied it. Inside, and that hit Shannon Stewart. Bobby Ayala nails Stewart in the back. Trainer for the Blue Jays out to check up on Stewart. He's okay. He heads up the first base line. That will send Crespo to second.
Looked like it may have hit Stewart in the ribs and then ricocheted off the handle of the bat. But that, I know, is what Ayala did not want to do, is to hit a batter and now put the go-ahead run down in scoring position.
2 on with only 1 away, and here's second baseman Mariano Duncan. He's 1 for 3. Ground ball back up the middle. A-Rod is there, trying to get it back to Joey, but it's not in time. Safe at second base is Shannon Stewart. Alex, a good job to get to the ball, but he just couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and down to third base goes Crespo.
And bases are loaded again. Still only 1 out.
A single for Duncan, and here is Jose Cruz Jr. Cruz is 1 for 2 with a single to right field.
I tell you what, if this young man gets a base hit, you're going to hear some noise here in the Kingdom.
Low from Bobby. Ball 1. 3-3 tie. Left-hander Norm Charlton warming up down to the pen. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Mariners have used 3 pitchers here in the 7th inning. Still only 1 out. And the bases are loaded for the second time.
Well, the thing Lou was saying about the bullpen is that it's not just one guy, that when it seems like one guy goes bad, they all go bad.
Foul back, 1-2.
One guy pitches well, then it seems like everybody else picks it up a notch or 2. But when a guy has a bad day down there, it seems like there's other guys that follow suit.
Spoljaric and Timlin a rough time here in the top of the 7th inning. Now Bobby Ayala looking for a double play ball to get his defense off the field. Jose calls time. Bobby came up with a big double play a few nights ago down in Kansas City. A 1-2-3 double play. Chopped off the plate, foul. Still 1-2 on Cruz. The go-ahead run is over at third base. Crespo.
I think with 2 strikes now that Sorrento can back up at first base.
Inside, ball 2, 2-2. Check of the runners. Crespo at third, Stewart at second. Duncan is on at first base. Still only 1 away. Jose still with a lot of fans here at the Kingdom. Fans took to this kid right away, and they've done the same thing now in Toronto. More Cruz fans here at the ballpark, and banners all over the place welcoming Jose back to Seattle. Like that one there. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 outs. Bobby Ayala fans, Jose Cruz. 2 outs for the Blue Jays, and here comes the ever-dangerous Joe Carter.
Here comes the pitch, and Cruz out in front of the off-speed pitch. Ayala now just 1 out away from getting out of a big, big jam. And once again, this guy right here, we said it the last time up, struck out his last time up with men on base.
In the dirt. Good stop by Dan Wilson. Ball 1, but he just missed a 3-run home run down the left field line.
Yeah, like we said, this guy is a fly ball hitter, and he's a good clutch hitter, and he can hit with men in scoring position. But he has trouble hitting off of Ayala.
1 for 9. Joe Carter against Bobby Ayala. A little bit low. Ball 2, 2-0.
Don't like the way this at bat is going.
3-3 tie. No room for Carter. Bobby Ayala is behind in the count at 2-0. The pitch. Fastball for a strike at the knees. 2-1. That was a good pitch. He was behind in the count and he stayed down with it. Well hit into center field, left center, but going back, Jr. has plenty of room. He is there, and he makes the catch to retire the side. The Blue Jays get 3 to tie, but it could have been worse. They had the bases loaded with 1 out after scoring the 3 runs. Bobby Ayala gets the final 2 outs. What a job by Bobby in relief. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning tied. Mariners 3 and the Blue Jays 3.
We don't have sales. We have the best price.
That's nasty.
Toronto with 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Edgar Martinez back on the bench. It looks like he had a few stitches in that cut on his chin, sliding. And the Blue Jays catcher, Charlie O'Brien. So a few more stitches for Edgar Martinez. He had stitches put in the right side of his head in Kansas City when he was hit in the head by a thrown bat by Chili Davis of the Royals. It has been a rough last few days for Edgar. 3-3 tie. Third baseman Brent Gates will lead things off. Defensive change for the Blue Jays. Gates is 1 for 2 with a big RBI single in the second. There is Carlos Garcia now at shortstop for Tomas Perez. 0-1. Ball to first. Joe Carter is there. Goes to the bag himself for the unassisted put out on Gates. 1 away.
Edgar had 8 stitches put in that chin.
Catcher number 6, Dave.
And he's going to stay in the game.
He's had enough stitches for a while.
You know what? They've been operating. Yeah, they've been operating on him lately. In fact, he's had more successful operations than the CIA lately.
You can see the blood-stained jersey of Edgar after that collision with O'Brien. Here's new catcher Dan Wilson. 1-0 on Dan. This is his first at-bat in the ball game since replacing starting catcher tonight, Rick Wilkins, making his starting Mariner debut. Dan, 13 home runs, 70 runs batted in. Ground ball to third right there is Tom Evans. Toss across to Carter, 2 outs. Well, kids 5 to 14, be sure to stop by your local Western Washington Fred Meyer store and register to win 4 tickets to Kids Appreciation Day presented by Pepsi September the 28th as the Mariners take on the Oakland A's. You can also register by sending a postcard with your name, address, telephone number, and age to the address on your screen. So enter today and we'll see you at Kids Appreciation Day. 2 outs and nobody on. Second baseman Joey Cora. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
we were saying that a lot of times hitters don't like to go deep into the count off of Roger Clemens because they don't want to strike out. Cora has seen 6 pitches tonight, and this is his 4th at bat.
High ball 1-1-1. Hey, righty jumped on first pitches in the 3rd and the 5th. Strike 2 called, 1-2. Joy trying to get something started after 2 outs. 3-3 tie. Up and in, ball 2, 2-2. Roger Clemens closing in on 100 pitches for the game. Twice as many strikes as balls. Anaheim leading Kansas City 5-4. That game is in the top of the 6th. Swing and a miss by Joey for strike 3, and it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Mariners. After 7 innings of play, Mariners 3, the Blue Jays 3. The Mariners face Joe Carter and the Blue Jays tomorrow night at 6:05. The first 50,000 fans receive a special edition poster featuring action shots of all of your favorite Mariners, courtesy of the Seattle Times and Bill Pierre Ford. Be on hand as Pennant Fever heats up right here in the Kingdom. For tickets, call 622-HITS or stop by any Ticketmaster Ticket Center. Starters for tomorrow's game, the big unit, Randy Johnson, will be back on the mound for the first time in a couple of weeks. His record 17-4. Omar Dahl will pitch for the Blue Jays in Game 2 of the 4-game series. It'll be great to see Randy back on the mound. Top of the 8th inning. Big swing and a miss by Carlos Delgado, who led off the 7th inning with a single. The Blue Jays would go on to score 3 runs to tie the game.
Randy will probably have a pitch count of 70-75 pitches, somewhere in that neighborhood.
We'll keep a watch on Randy tomorrow night in that first start back. Swing and a miss. Bobby Ayala with that high cheese, that high fastball. Delgado takes a rip.
Boy, does he ever take a rip. He can generate some clubhead speed. 29 home runs in a year. This guy can hit the ball as far as anyone.
Inside, ball 2, 2-2.
Likes the ball out over the plate.
37,044 tonight here in the Kingdom for the opening game of the series. Fly ball into center field. Junior going back to the 1-inch track, leaps up against the wall, and he makes the catch. Junior rips the padding of the center field wall as he braces himself up against the fence. One away. Delgado gave it a ride, but Junior going back to make an outstanding catch. And the crowd in the Kingdom gives Junior a standing O.
All year long you hear us talking about Junior being the complete package. Well, here's part of that package. Great defense. You know what he can do offensively, but look what he does for your ball club and your pitching staff defensively.
What a catch by Ken Griffey Jr. Ball 1 the count on right fielder Sean Green, and that's what's left of the padding out there in center field. Ripped by the spikes of Ken Griffey Jr. Swing and a miss by Green, and the count goes to a ball and a strike. And Red, it's always scary when you see Junior jump into a fence like that.
Well, Junior or any other outfielder jumping into fences like that, but fortunately for the players today, the outfield fences are all padded.
2-1 on Green.
A little tough to see Junior make a catch like that on a concrete fence. I mean,
it would be tough.
He went face first into that padding out there and made a great play.
3-3 tie. 1 out. Swing and a miss. Steve Wright 2 on Green. And I'm just reminded of that play 2 years ago when Kevin Bass of Baltimore hit that drive in the right center field. Junior made that incredible catch, and it shattered his left wrist. Swing and a miss and a splitter. Strike 3. Bobby Ayala fanning Sean Green for the second out of the inning. Great job by Ayala in relief one more time.
Look at this last pitch. Down goes Green. It was a strike. You know, a lot of times when Ayala throws that split finger, they get batters to chase that pitch. It's out of the strike zone. That pitch was in the strike zone.
Here's third baseman Tom Evans. He had a single and scored one of the Blue Jays' 3 runs in the 7th inning. Ball 1.
Evans had a good year at Syracuse. Played in 107 games. Hit 15 home runs and drove in 65.
1 for 3. Ground ball. A-Rod is there. And it's 1-2-3 for the Blue Jays in the top of the 8th inning. What a job by Bobby, and what a catch by Ken Griffey Jr. robbing Delgado of an extra base hit. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. There he goes, Spider-Man up against the wall to make another incredible catch. After 7.5, 3-3 tie.
Yeah, I'll be leaving on the 18th. Sometime in the...
3-3, bottom of the 8th inning. Mariners will send up Roberto Kelly, Ken Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez against the Rocket Man, Roger Clemens. He has gone all the way.
Talk about home field advantage. When you get in games like this, tie game.
0-1 on Kelly.
Here's where the home team has the advantage. Mariners have 3 outs at the bottom of the 8th, 3 outs at the bottom of the 9th. 6 outs to 3 outs of Toronto. Because all they have now are the 3 outs in the top half of the inning. 1 run right here might do it.
The line for Clemens, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all earned, only 1 walk and 5 Ks. Low, ball 2, 2-1. Activity down to the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Right-hander Tim Crabtree is warming up for Cito Gaston's ball club. Down and away, ball 3, and he's way behind Kelly, 3-1. And on deck is Jr., who made that outstanding catch, and the ball hit by Delgado in the top of the 8th inning. Stretching on his back. Slammed into the center field center field wall, making the catch. Check swing, and it's fouled away.
And that might have been ball 4.
It was.
Trying to hold up in the pitch, and it ends up hitting your back. See if this is not ball 4. Yeah, that's too high.
Just trailed the bat. A little out over the plate and fouled it off. The 3-2 pitch. Out of play on the first base side. Still 3-2. 35-year-old Roger Clemens won only 10 games last year with the Red Sox. He was 10-13. He's a 21-game winner this season. Low, ball 4. What an at-bat by Roberto Kelly, a leadoff walk. Only the second walk given up by Clemens, and the Mariners have the go-ahead run at first base.
See if the Mariners can take advantage of that. They got the right guys coming to the plate. Junior historically has hit well against Roger Clemens. Does not have a hit in tonight's game, which tells me he's now due to get a base hit. But then you've got Roger Clemens out there on the mound, who's a pretty tough customer.
Always tough. Fans on their feet here at the Kingdom, 37,044 for the opening game of the series. They would love to see Junior hit number 51 right here. Ken Griffey Jr. getting ready to step in to face Clemens. This is a classic matchup of power against power.
Well, here's the game right here. Good battle.
They Starts him off with an off-speed pitch. Outside, ball 1.
Didn't want to start him off with a fastball. Junior, late in the ball game, is a first ball fastball hitter. Early in the game, maybe not so much, but late in the game he is.
3-3 time. Blue Jays have hit the Mariners 8-7. 1 on and nobody out. Clemens steps off and just looks Kelly back to first base.
Junior, Mariners leading home run hitter and RBI leader against the Blue Jays this year. Oh, he had a pitch.
1-1.
Look at this last pitch. Junior just getting on top of that ball a hair. Batting practice, you see Junior golf that ball out of the ballpark regularly.
Reached the upper deck in right field, which he has done many times along the way. And now just looking to drive the ball. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Clemens stays away.
Yeah, in hopes that Junior is going to try to pull the ball and maybe hit a ground ball to Duncan at second base. You have Duncan playing almost halfway between first and second. See where he's playing. You have the first baseman on the bag, and so you have really basically one guy to cover the entire right side of the diamond.
Throw to first, and Kelly gets back in time. Mariners had a 3-0 lead, but the Blue Jays scored 3 times in the top of the 7th inning. Last 35 games, Junior's done a lot of damage. 17 home runs and 32 runs batted in. Inside corner for strike 2. 2-2 on Junior.
Nasty pitch that time by Roger Clemens. Does he get the benefit of this pitch? Oh, boy. Yeah. I think Roger did, and Junior, I don't think, thought that pitch was a strike. Just looking around the outfield, center fielder playing very deep.
Runner goes, base hit, past the shortstop. Kelly to third. Junior with a single. The shortstop, Garcia, went to his left. The ball was hit to his right. Junior with a mighty big base hit. And the Mariners have the go-ahead run over at third base.
Credit Lou Piniella with that because he sent the runner. And when you can see the second baseman playing, as we mentioned, so far towards first base, you know the shortstop's going to cover. So Lou sent the runner, which meant the shortstop was covering. He went to the bag, and the ball was hit right where he was standing. So now here we are.
If he wasn't running red, that's a tailor-made double play ball.
You got it.
Mel Queen, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Here's the swing again by Junior. Takes it the other way.
Yeah, and you know what? That's great hitting by Junior because you can't pull that pitch off of Roger Clemens, but look where that ball was. Exactly where the shortstop was playing.
Junior with a big smile on his face, and rightly so. Mariners have a chance to take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mel Queen out to have a chat with Roger Clemens. They will stay with Clemens with 2 on and nobody out. Kelly's on at third. He represents the go-ahead run. Here's that play one more time, Red.
There goes the runner. Shortstop moving on his way to cover second base. And look at this. The ball's hit behind him. Can't make the play. And with that, you're going to allow Roberto Kelly to go around to third. I think Lou Piniella had a lot to do with setting that play up. And that was great hitting by Junior.
By running, he opened the hole on the left side, and that's exactly where Junior hit it. And Edgar can deliver the biggest cut of them all right here with a base hit. Speaking of cut, he had a cut closed by 8 stitches. Sliding into Charlie O'Brien a few innings ago. Fake move to third and a look to first base by Clemens.
Well, as we said, if the Mariners can score one more, that might be enough to do it.
Fly ball deep to right center field. Back she goes off the scoreboard. Here comes Kelly. Here comes Junior racing home. Mariners with a 2-run lead. 5-3. Edgar Martinez delivers the biggest cut. A 2-run double off the scoreboard in right field. Scoring Kelly. Scoring Junior. 5-3. The Mariners lead the Blue Jays.
They're calling it a home run.
Now the call. Edgar is being sent home. The Blue Jays are furious. Now the call by the first base umpire, Terry Kraft. It is a 6-3 lead. Change the 2-run double to a 3-run homer to right field.
And it's not over with yet. He may have Edgar go back to second. But right now,
last year,
Terry Kraft thought the ball was up into the stands. Fans reached over, caught the ball, and the ball came out of their hands, dropping it back into play.
Red, did you see Kraft make a call right away? I didn't.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't see it, but let's look at the fly ball again.
There it is. There's the fly ball to right field. You see the fans go after it. Now watch the flight of the ball. Reaches up around the railing. It hit the fan's glove above the scoreboard in right field. So the call by Terry Kraft, that ball would have gone in or through the railing, onto the railing, or through the railing in right field. We get a chance to look at it one more time. It is above the American League side of the scoreboard. Watch it sail. The fan is there, and the ball is ruled a 3-run home run for Edgar Martinez. So the Mariners have a 6-3 lead.
You know what? I think the Blue Jays have a good argument. Looked like he had to reach over the stands, and the question is whether that ball was hit far enough. Had he missed the ball, if it would have left the yard. I don't know that it would have.
Now the umpires are still talking this over. Red, last year, Edgar Martinez had a home run taken away in a similar situation.
Yep.
The third base umpire, and I believe it was Derwin Merrill, overruled the umpire who went out to make the original call. So this isn't over yet.
No, the umpires are talking about they may send Edgar back to second base.
On a ball hit like that, the umpires rotate. The first base umpire goes out to take a look at the fly ball like we're doing now. Now, is that ball caught by a fan above the scoreboard? Is the ball going to sail out of the park if the fan doesn't get to it? Or is it going to hit the top of the wall?
I think it was a double. But I'll take the run.
Oh,
yeah, they're going to give it. But I think it was a double.
Well, Terry Kraft, the first base umpire, had the best look at it because he goes out there with a little bit of an angle. There's Toronto Blue Jays manager Cito Gaston arguing the call, along with first baseman Joe Carter. But Kraft is trying to explain that that ball would have been out of the ballpark or hit the railing. If it hits the railing, it's a home run because it's above the scoreboard in right field. Edgar Martinez is sitting on the bench with his 26th home run of the year. And it looks like it is going to stand, and the Mariners have a 6-3 lead.
Look at it again. Look at it one more time. Does this ball have enough on it to get out of the yard, or does the fan reach over?
I think that ball is going to hit off the railing.
I think it's a double.
I think it's going to hit at the bottom of the railing, right above that E in League of American League. But it was close, Red.
Oh, yeah. We're sitting up and we've seen it now 3 or 4 times.
It was still...
And we still don't know.
Well, it's a 3-run home run. The walk by Kelly, the single by Jr., which really started this inning. On the hit and run, Lou Piniella starting Roberto Kelly opened the left side of the infield. Jr. had that great base hit the other way. How about Jr. this game? He made the great catch on Delgado's fly ball in the top of the 8th inning up against the wall in center. And then Edgar goes boom with a home run to give the Mariners a 6-3 lead.
Well, let's take a look at what the umpire saw. This is going to be at regular speed. There's the fly ball. And you're the umpire. What do you make the call?
The big question mark and Terry Kraft is the only one that had the best view of the other umpires, is the angle of the ball and how that ball was coming down, whether or not it would hit the top of the wall. There goes Roger Clemens. Clemens is coming out of the ball game, or whether or not, if you continue the flight of the baseball without the reach of the fan, whether or not that ball indeed would have hit off the railing or gone through it. But it's been ruled a 3-run home run by Terry Kraft, and the Mariners have a 6-3 lead. And we have a new pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays as Joe Carter and Mariano Duncan continue their conversation with Terry Kraft, the first base ump. And Tim Crabtree is on in relief for the Blue Jays. Mariners lead 6-3. What a night for Edgar Martinez and company. 6-3. The Mariners on top of Toronto. As the change is made, don't go away. We'll be back after this timeout.
On an all-new Tom show, Tom's daughter's in jail.
Mariners now lead the Blue Jays 6-3. Alex Rodriguez, the count is 0-1 from new pitcher Tim Crabtree. Down and away for ball 1, 1-1, and guess what? The Royals have tied the Angels 5-5, 5-5 game in the top of the 7th inning. Ball 2, 2-1. Tim Crabtree takes over for Roger Clemens.
Yeah, and he's coming in, making his 34th appearance of the year. The record, earned run, a couple of saves, and is facing an awfully good hitter.
Off the end of the bat foul, 2-2 on Alex.
Roger Clemens goes 7 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, a couple of base on balls, 5 strikeouts, throwing 100 pitches in this game. And this year, Mariners have given him a rough time, but over his entire career, Roger Clemens has pretty well dominated Seattle.
The bloodied Edgar Martinez, cut on the chin, sliding home a couple of innings ago, delivered what could be the knockout punch here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 3-run home run to give the Mariners a 6-3 lead. Hopped up and out of play on the first base side. Still 2-2 on Alex. Bobby Ayala, great job in relief, giving the Mariners a chance to come back to take the lead. Still 2-2.
Might see Slocum come in and work the top of the 9th inning. He's already warmed up. He's ready.
Getting loose. They begin warming up. Great job by Bobby Ayala. Came out with the bases loaded 2 innings ago. Check swing. Pitch is down and away. Ball 3. Full count 3-2. Field down to the third base umpire, Vinny Evans. First base umpire, Terry Kraft. Terry was a busy man just a few moments ago. The 3-2 pitch, fouled away. Good at bat right here by Alex Rodriguez, making Crabtree work. On deck is first baseman P.Sorrento. At the top of the 9th inning, Charlie O'Brien will lead off for the Blue Jays, the number 8 hitter. Ground ball back to the pitcher, Crabtree. Underhands to Carter at first, and that's the first out of the inning. Well, Pennant Fever will be burning up the Kingdome as the Mariners host the American League West Division rival Anaheim Angels in a big 2-game series beginning on Tuesday, September the 23rd at 7:05. The American League West Showdown concludes on Wednesday, September the 24th at 7:35. Good seats are still available. Call for tickets 622-HITS or stop by any Ticketmaster Ticket Center. The Angels in town for the 2-game series, the 23rd and the 24th. P.Sorrento. Strike 0-1. Only 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 6th. 2, 2-1. Kansas City still batting in the top of the 7th inning down in Anaheim. The Royals have tied the Angels 5-5. Well hit ball down the right field line. This one is fair. Goodbye baseball. It hit the foul pole. P.Sorrento with a line shot home run, his 28th home run of the season. Mariners lead the Blue Jays 7-3. The only question whether or not that ball was going to stay fair, and it rattles off the screen that goes inside from the foul pole. Home run number 28 and the second for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
That ball was crushed. P.Sorrento, as you said, his 28th home run of the year. The only question was whether it's going to stay fair or not, but that ball was nailed.
It's a rocket off the bat of Sorrento.
See how that ball jumps off of his bat right into that screen down the line.
1-1 the count on right fielder Rob Ducey, and he got all of that pitch from Crabtree. 7-3 Mariners lead. Popped up outside of first and out of play. 1-2 on Ducey. The Mariners have now hit 234 home runs, more than any team in baseball. They're on a pace to break the Orioles record set last year, 257. 234 home runs hit by the Mariners this season. Down and in, ball 2, 2-2. Speaking of home runs, Red, this guy hit a big one in Kansas City.
Boy, didn't he?
Tuesday night to win 4-3.
Off of Pichardo.
Leading off the top of the 9th inning. Ball 3, full count. On deck for the Mariners, third baseman Brent Gates. Rob Ducey from Toronto, former Blue Jay. Taps it foul, still 3-2. Folks, it's going to be a fun ride here in the next couple of weeks as we wind down the regular season. Magic number is 11. They clinch the West. The 3-2. Strike 3 called with a fastball on the inside corner. 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Third baseman Brent Gates.
Tim Crabtree on in relief of R.Clemens. Here's third baseman Brent Gates. Gates drove in the game's first run with a 2-out RBI single, scoring Edgar back in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Red, this inning started with that lead-off walk to Roberto Kelly.
How many times this year we said lead off base on balls and have him come around to score?
The hit and run single by Jr.
Yeah, that's a huge play. That pretty much set up the inning, didn't it?
Sure did. Low ball 2, 2-1. Besides that, Junior's catch seemed to turn the momentum in the favor of the Mariners with that great catch at the top of the 8th inning. And then Edgar's 3-run home run.
A lot of pluses in this game. You look back in this game, the job by Olivares, the first 6 innings.
Yeah. 3-1.
Clutch base hit by Brent Gates in the 2nd inning. The base hit by Sorrento in the 6th inning. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can look back in this game, and a lot of pluses.
The relief of Bobby Ayala, strike 2, full count 3-2. He stopped the bleeding when the Blue Jays had a chance to open up the game after they tied it at 3-3 in the 7th. up into left field, right at J.Cruz Jr. He makes the easy catch to retire the side, but not before the Mariners score 4 times. A 3-run home run by Edgar and a solo blast by P.Sorrento. We go to the top of the 9th inning, the last try for the Blue Jays. Our score, the Mariners 7 and the Blue Jays 3, and here comes Heathcliff.
Are you ready for a career in a growing?
This, he can get a quick first step. He's low to the ground and he can explode.
Every year, the Mariners lead the American League in shaving cream pie attacks. Why? Because they work at it. The 97 Mariners. You gotta love these guys.
These guys are...
Oh, yeah. Well, here we go to the top of the 9th inning. Mariners lead the Blue Jays 7-3. We have some changes for the Mariners. Now playing third base, Andy Sheets replacing Brent Gates. And on the mound for the Mariners, right-hander Heathcliff Slocum to try to close it out.
He is not in a save situation with the Mariners leading by 4 runs.
Catcher Charlie O'Brien leading off the 9th inning. 0-1.
Boy, you don't have to get fancy right here. Just throw strikes. Go after the hitters.
Ground ball to short. A-Rod gobbles it up, gets O'Brien at first. There is out number 1. There's a chance to lower their magic number down to 10 with a win to clinch the West. In the meantime, Royals and the Angels still tied at 5-5 in the 7th inning down in Anaheim.
Boy, if this game ends the way it is right now, Mariners, or I should say Bobby Ayala, will pick up his 10th win of the year.
Shortstop Carlos Garcia.
And of course, that's every time he wins from now on out, the season, it establishes a new career high.
1-1. Bobby, a great job over the last 2 innings in relief.
Yeah, the most wins he's ever had in the major leagues, 6.
Ground ball to A-Rod one more time. And there is out number 2. Garcia is retired 6-3. Mariners 1 out away from their 82nd win of the season. And what a comeback by this ball club. 37,044 have enjoyed one heck of a ball game, and it started with the pitching of Omar Olivares.
Yeah, he pitched a dandy of a game tonight.
He had struggled for a long time. Here is Shannon Stewart. Ball 1. 6 shutout innings by Omar Olivares. Mariners had a 3-0 lead for him. He gave up only 3 hits. Low, ball 2, 2-0. Walked only 1 and he struck out 4. But Bobby Ayala, with great relief, has a chance to pick up the win. 2-1 on Stewart. Ball to third, but it's foul. Backhanding in foul territory, Andy Sheets. And the count is even on Shannon Stewart at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners looking to try to gain some more ground in Anaheim in the West. Fans on their feet, 37,000 plus, have seen a dandy tonight here in the Kingdom in the opening game of this 4-game series. It's over. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Shannon Stewart strikes out. The Mariners beat the Toronto Blue Jays. A final score of 7-3. What a job. Heathcliff Slocum takes care of the Blue Jays 1-2-3. And how about the night for Edgar Martinez? A 3-run home run breaks up a 3-3 tie. He also had 2 other hits, 2 singles in this ball game. Edgar Martinez sliding home was out early in the game. He suffered a cut on his chin red that required 8 stitches to close, but then he came back with that big base hit, the 3-run home run to win the game.
It probably probably would have been easy for Edgar to come out of the ball game, but he wants to win. He wants to get to the playoff. He wants to go to the World Series, just like every one of the other Mariners down there in the field.
Ken Griffey Jr. made that incredible Spider-Man catch on the top of the 8th inning that turned the momentum in the favor of the Mariners, robbing Delgado of a base hit in the 8th inning. Junior, you are unbelievable. The Mariners won it tonight, 7-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll be back right after this timeout.
So, you want to drive for Budweiser.
From the comfort of your own home. The price for all this
Seattle Mariners Baseball League Baseball.
What a ball game tonight here in the Kingdom. The Mariners defeat the Blue Jays 7-3 to win Game 1 of the 4-game series. Bobby Ayala, his 10th win. R.Clemens, his 6th loss. The Rocket Man is now 21-6 for the year. And what a game for Edgar Martinez. Hello again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Ron Fairley. The Mariners pick up their 82nd win of the season, and it was exciting.
You know, we were saying in the game that how is it that the Mariners could look so good one night and the next night not look so good and then come back and play a game.
Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. Edgar 3 for 3, including that game-winning 3-run home run.
Well, indeed, he had a couple of infield base hits, and then it was a very questionable home run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they're still arguing probably down there in both dugouts as to whether that was a home run or not. Take a look at it, and you be the judge. Did this leave the yard in the 8th inning?
Led into the mask of the catcher, Charlie O'Brien. Look at this, and suffered a cut on his chin and had to go in the clubhouse. They stitched up the cut. It took 8 stitches to close that cut. He still came back out and delivered the game-winning hit 2 innings later.
Well, when he gets up, looking at R.Clemens and looking at Charlie O'Brien, trying to figure out what happened, but stayed in the ball game and ended up being one of the big heroes in tonight's game for the Mariners.
What a game for Edgar Martinez with that home run to break up that threader. This catch by Ken Griffey Jr. gave the Mariners some momentum. He robs Carlos Delgado of an extra base hit in the top of the 8th inning.
You know, looking at that once again now, Mariners are very fortunate that he didn't sprain his ankle when his spikes caught on that padding out there in center field, and so
for his first win since July the 23rd, he comes away with a no decision. But the Mariners have beaten the Blue Jays in the 3 starts Clemens has made against Seattle. Here's his numbers this evening.
Well, they're still very impressive.
R.Kelly takes off. Carlos Garcia, the shortstop, goes to cover second.
There, as you can see, with the win, that puts the Mariners to 6 full games above Anaheim, pending the outcome of their game. And that game, I believe, is tied at 5 in the 7th inning down there at Anaheim. So the Mariners' magic number drops 1 more.
That's right. It's down to 10 with 14 games left to play. And a big game tomorrow night, Game 2 of the 4-game series. Randy Johnson
with Lou Piniella. Randy Johnson will have 4 more starts, if necessary, between now and the end of the season. Tomorrow night, he'll throw about 75 pitches, maybe 80 pitches, somewhere in that neighborhood. And Randy is scheduled to pitch the final game of the season if it is necessary. If it is not, as far as the Angels are concerned, the thing that's hurt them is their starting pitching, and those guys have been injured just about all year long. And the Mariners say thank you very much, and the break goes in favor of the Mariners.
Very good starting pitching tonight from Omar Olivares. Great job in relief by Bobby Ayala, who picks up his 10th victory of the year. So that wraps it up from the Kingdom this evening. What a ball game. The Mariners win it. A final score of 7-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays. Join us again tomorrow night at 6 when the Mariners play Game 2 of this 4-game series. And the entire crew from the Kingdom. This is Rick Riz for Dave Niehaus and Ron Fairley saying so long, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, it's baseball for free on the WB as the Mariners take on the Toronto Blue Jays live at 6 o'clock. Right now, stay tuned for a debit dose of Mama's Family. Next.
Nick Frino's...
from the Kingdome in Seattle, the final game of the four-game series and the homestand. The game between the Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. One more time, and to you all, again, a very pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Niehaus along with Ron Fairley. The Ides of Clemens referring to his idol. A record of 2-2 facing Toronto for the first time. As always, delighted to have you with us. We'll be back and have a look at tonight's starting lineups.